so frustrating. We could be talking to multiple guys, and guess what? End up with no one at the end.
Horrible man going to no speed dating event. I don't know who need to hear that, but before y'all keep wasting y'all money and time going to these speed dating events.
To a singles event last night, and I have to say it was the worst singles event I've ever been to.
Women speaking, I went to a speed dating event, there was no men there. I went to a singles event, there were no men there. Respectfully, haven't y'all been coming on this internet telling men that they need to stop dating and they need to leave women alone?
My date just walked out on me within 30 seconds of seeing my face. He saw me, he said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. He also, when he saw me, I was with her and just got her boyfriend and Nick. So like, not the best look like situation-wise, but he kind of stuck up on me.
Speed dating events with 90% women and 10% men aren't a mystery. They're a market signal. Men have done the math on what these events cost versus what they deliver, and the answer keeps coming back the same way.
If you have plans with a man, especially in the beginning, if you have plans with a man and he's late or he cancels last minute, just leave it right there, babe. Just leave it right there. You don't even have to think any further plans with him, any future, anything. He doesn't give a fuck. A man that can't even show up on time for your first date has absolutely no consideration for your time. And time is the most precious thing you have in this life, right? So if a man can't hop in the shower and wash his ass 15 minutes earlier than what he usually does, and if he can't get on the road 15 minutes earlier than he usually does to make sure he avoids traffic and he doesn't run behind. And I'm not talking about, oh, he's 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. I'm talking about a man that is clearly disrespectful and is 20, 30 plus minutes late. Unacceptable. A job wouldn't accept that. So why the fuck would you accept that? And why the fuck would you even go on the date? If a man passes 30 minutes, and that's being nice. If a man passes 30 minutes, don't even go on the date. Sorry, I thought, unless he has really great communication. But if he says nothing and then says, oh, I'll be 5 minutes away after the 30-minute mark, no, I'm not going anymore. And you probably don't even have flowers with you. And you probably didn't make a reservation. And I'm going to assume all this just because of your shitty character with your punctuality. I'm not going out with a man that plays with my time. Okay? The fuck?
Attending a singles event as an average man is exactly like interviewing for a job you're underqualified for, don't want, and can't afford to take even if they offer it. The cost-benefit analysis writes itself.
It's all women.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
I don't want to do them anymore because it's so hard to get men to sign up. And I had one a few weeks ago, and one of the guys was like, please do this again. This was awesome. I'm like, I will do it again if you promise, get friends to come. It's so hard to get guys to sign up. And he's like, no, why would I want more competition?
Yeah. But why? I guess both perspectives. What do you think? But also as a guy. So if you told me when I was 27, hey, there's a singles event where there's going to be 20 to 25 really cool women, I'd be like, yeah, that's sick. Why would I not go? I go to the bar to meet the single woman. Yeah. Why wouldn't I go to the singles event where they actually want to meet me too?
Yeah.
But as guys, why did we never go to them?
Yeah, doesn't it take away the thing of rejection?
My perspective was this. I feel like guys are super sensitive to get rejected. And when you go to a singles event, there's an expectation that you should hook up or you should meet somebody.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's like, oh, well, you got rejected. And maybe if you hit on somebody there and
Pay to attend an event specifically designed to get ignored or insulted. Men have been getting that experience for free for years. Hard pass on buying a ticket to more of the same.
So I recently went to a singles event and it was 90% women. And I was wondering, where's all the dudes? I don't know, but they're not there. And that's cool. Not like I care.
The same women who mocked the men who showed up are now complaining there aren't enough men showing up. The connection between those two facts apparently hasn't landed yet.
Ain't no desirable man going to no speed dating event. I don't know who need to hear that, but before y'all keep wasting y'all money and time going to these speed dating events, don't do it if you expecting men that you would actually want to be there, because they're not. If there are any men there at all, they're definitely not going to be the type of man that you would want. They're going to be undesirable, but they won't be actual top tier attractive, men with things going for themselves. You know why? Because if a man is actually desirable, why would he need to come to a speed dating event? He wouldn't. Desirable men get women constantly, whether it's walking out the house, going to the store, going to the gym, going to school. They don't have a problem in the woman department. See, y'all having a problem in the men department, which is why you're at a speed dating event. But these men are not having an issue with women when they're desirable. They don't have a problem getting girls. You have a problem getting men. And that's something that you need to work on. But as far as going to these speed dating events and thinking that you're going to meet actual men that you would want, they're not going to be there. You'll be good if you even get any men there at all, even the ones that nobody wants.
Average men at dating events aren't dating prospects, they're props. One man gets all the attention while the rest get dismissed before they finish their sentence. Paying for that experience requires a level of self-loathing most men have finally outgrown.
Hinge, then guys will have no option but to go to the bar and to approach people in person because they won't have any options online. They have like the world at their fingertips on this little phone device. Like Hinge literally is giving them thousands of people to choose from, and they're like, the next swipe will just be the better one. Yeah, I feel like that's why most like relationships on Hinge don't work, is because these guys are swiping on you, they're excited, and then the conversation just goes blank literally a day later because they found something else that's not even better, but just like newer to them.
It's just more exciting.
Exactly. Let's start this train so that guys
delete your apps
to talk to us at the bar.
Let's leave them no choice.
Men swipe, message, get silence or a one-word reply, and move on, then get blamed for moving on. The audacity of complaining about men not pursuing while actively signaling disinterest is breathtaking. They know exactly what they're doing and blame men for the outcome anyway.
One time I showed up to a speed dating event that I had to apply for, interview for, and pay for. And 3 out of the 8 men at the event were randos that were pulled off the street that day.
Attended a singles event, demanded to know where the men were, then immediately claimed not to care. That's not confidence. That's cope with a straight face.
He confirmed last night. I messaged him. I was just like I said, I was feeling sad this week, and I didn't want to play the game. So I messaged him last night. Are we on? He was like, yes, we're on, 8:30, the place. And then there was not a single word from him today. Not a single word. We're supposed to meet in 5 minutes, and I haven't gotten a single text. So this will be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. Please don't let me get stood up. Please.
They're not upset that men didn't show up. They're upset that the specific top-tier men they wanted didn't show up. Those men don't need speed dating. The ones who do show up get treated like they don't deserve to be there. And eventually they agree.
Dating can be so frustrating. We could be talking to multiple guys, and guess what? End up with no one at the end. Some guys are just not capable of taking the lead of just being like, let's go out, let's do something. Instead, they'd rather just be like, oh, I'll see you there, because they know you're part of this organization or you're part of like this group or whatever, that you go on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. Like, what happened to real men courting women? Like, I want that man. Like, I want my husband to be capable of saying, hey, I want to take you out, let's go this day. If I say I can't make it that day, be like, okay, what about that day? There's always a way around it, and we can always communicate to make sure to make things happen. And nowadays, guys, if they hear we can't, I'm busy, but like, how about another time? And for them, it's over. Like, it's just like, okay, I'll see you around. Like, what is this?
Not showing up is the move. Self-respect isn't built by repeatedly auditioning for people who've already decided you don't make the cut. Staying single beats, paying to be humiliated by strangers.
My date just walked out on me within 30 seconds of seeing my face. He saw me. He said, I'm going to go to the bathroom. He also, when he saw me, I was with Francesca, her boyfriend, and Nick. So, like, not the best look, like, situation-wise, but he kind of stuck up on me. He was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. He never... Yeah, no, he walked in and, like, everybody was together.
The man clearly
didn't know that he was walking into a group date. 2 girls, 2 guys, and one of them is already dating. And then there's you and Nick. What do you think the man is going to think? It's either like one of 4 things. Number 1, you were planning on like a group intimate situation, which he is not into. 2, you weren't taking getting to know him very seriously. 3, even worse, you weren't not just taking him seriously, you were actually looking to make fun of him. Like he was going to come on this date and it would be one of those like high school nightmare situations where you laugh at him for thinking that you would have any true interest in him. Now, in my opinion, it's either 2 or 4 because I lean towards 4. Because it's a super loud bar. How is that an appropriate location for a first date? Like, you can't even hear each other talk to one another. For any man that has been in this situation, or just a heads up to any of you guys that end up running into this situation in the future, believe me when I tell you that this is a clear test of your boundaries. This is disrespectful, especially to have the man that is clearly in her friend zone present at the date.
Expected to pay for everything, expected to perform happiness about it, and offered nothing beyond her physical presence as compensation. That's not dating. That's an unpaid audition with a bar tab attached.
I went to a singles mixer yesterday, and I left feeling more defeated than hopeful. There was a room full of beautiful, accomplished women, a lot of nice men, but only a few of them that everyone wanted. And the very few acted like they were the prize. They literally would only talk amongst themselves. They would not initiate conversation with women unless the host told them to. We had a moment where we were forced to just go and talk to somebody new for 8 minutes, which I thought was a little too long. But that was the only time that they would initiate conversation with the women.
I personally don't think that speed dating is the best place to go if you are picky about looks. Speed dating is probably not going to be the place that you find like the most conventionally attractive person, because on a balance of probabilities, they generally don't need speed dating. And so a lot of the time, if somebody is very conventionally attractive, especially guys, and they're going to a speed dating event, a similar thing is going to happen that happens on a lot of dating apps where the like most conventionally attractive guys get the lion's share of interest. And here's my thing, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like it, because I don't really like this whole like prize conversation. I don't believe that in a healthy relationship anybody is the prize. I don't think that we should view men and women like prizes to be won. I think that people are human. But when we're talking about people who generally have a lot of options, a lot of times those people do act like they have options. And it makes sense. When you have options, your standards or how you expect to be treated kind of rises because you know that there's another opportunity around the corner. So I'm actually not somebody who agrees with the common rhetoric that's going on now about how you should only date within your looks league, how you should only date people who are as conventionally attractive as you are. I think it's personally fine to only go for people that you're really, really attracted to, even if by conventional beauty standards, they might technically be more conventionally attractive than you. But the caveat with that is that I do think you have to have realistic expectations about what dating that kind of person is actually going to mean. Because if you want somebody who has a lot of options, and when I say a lot of options, I'm saying options that they would actually find suitable to date. Because I don't know what those men's preferences were, but in this example, I know that some women will say, well, I have a lot of options too, so it's equal. And it's like, okay, but let's say that that guy would have been happy going on dates with any number of women at that event. But the same is not true for the women at the event. So even if those women technically have just as many options, it's not options that she actually wants. When we're talking about the options of people that you actually are attracted to and would be willing to go on a date with versus the person that you're trying to get and their options and how many people that they would find suitable to go on a date with. If you are aiming for somebody who technically has more options than you that they would happily go on a date with, that is going to come with more competition, which means that you might have to do more in the beginning. And this is the part where it's like, I know a lot of people don't like to hear it. And it really isn't gender specific. But in this specific context, it's like, yeah, those men might be used to women approaching them, asking them on dates, showing them initial interest. Because sometimes when you're a guy and you're really hot, there are actually a decent amount of women who approach you first. And so some of those guys, they just figure, hey, I won't approach that many women anymore. I'll just wait for them to come to me. And they can do that because, like I said, they have a lot of options and they're attracted to a lot of their options. So if you're a woman who wants that guy, you can choose to not do it, but then you might not get that guy. And that's kind of the trade-off that you have to decide whether you are comfortable with doing that, whether that is not worth it for you. But it's kind of just the reality. Like I said, I don't agree with the prize conversation, but People with options, they generally tend to act like they have options, and they are less likely, in my experience, to chase or really court anybody very strongly, unless that person is like their 10-10, but a lot of times they don't anyway because they're just so used to getting that attention. The last thing I'll say though is this. I do personally wonder if she was bi or a lesbian, if she went to that event, if she would find most of those women attractive enough to actually go on a date with. Because I do think that the sort of standards when you know that sexual attraction really isn't involved versus who you would actually choose if you knew that you would eventually have sex with that person, I do think they tend to be different. So one video went viral a couple weeks ago where thousands of women were in the comments complaining that they're used to dating men, and then once they started dating women, they barely got any matches on dating apps, despite seeing many attractive women on those apps. The women in the comments were talking about, wow, I didn't realize how picky women are even when they're assessing other women. So when I see comments like that, and then I see statements like what she said, I just have to wonder if it would be the same if she was actually into women. Because as a woman who also dates both men and women, I think a lot of women who date women are pretty picky. Now, they might not be as picky as dating men, but I still think they're pretty picky. I don't really think that most women who like women would go to a speed dating event that was queer and would be interested in going on a date with most of the women. That's my personal opinion, even if we're just basing it off of attraction alone. But all of this is just my personal opinion, so let me know what you guys think. Bye.
Men stopped funding first dates and buying rounds not because the money matters, but because financing someone's night out in exchange for being evaluated and rejected is a dignity problem, not a financial one.
I don't know what it is about these speed dating events, but I keep seeing these videos of women speaking. I went to a speed dating event. There was no men there. I went to a singles event. There were no men there. Respectfully, haven't y'all been coming on this internet telling men that they need to stop dating and they need to leave women alone? Didn't y'all come on this internet and say it's all men till no men? Didn't y'all come on this internet and sit up here and say, well, if me and you make the same amount, I'm technically better than you in my mind as a woman, because why as a man don't you make more money than me? Even though that man is a direct reflection of you, the only difference is y'all gender. I already know some of you be like, well, you have a victim mentality. So then what's the difference when y'all came on this internet and say social media warped the mind of people and their bodies and said it was okay that a lot of women sat up there and started getting BBLs because they noticed that some women were getting attention by lustful, thirsty men online, and they sat up there and felt less than because of their natural body? Why wasn't that woman able to think the same way you want these men to think? Because there's a psychological effect some of you psych majors should know, right? I never took psych, but I understand if I go on this app every day and told I'm nothing, even though we make the same, that's going to play into my psyche. As I said, some of us men still know how to read y'all defense. It's not that hard, but isn't it funny? My fault. I should know better. It's just not the same.
If the supply is genuinely that scarce, pay for it. Plasma donors get compensated because their contribution has value. If men's presence at these events is that desperately needed, the market solution is obvious. The organizers just don't want to admit what that implies. The men aren't missing. They made a decision. Speed dating events are a microcosm of the entire modern dating market. High cost of entry for men, low effort required from women, and a reward structure that only works for the top few percent. Until the experience is actually worth showing up for, the empty chairs aren't going anywhere. The question isn't where the men went, it's why anyone expected them to keep coming back. Thanks for watching MGTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome a healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.